want to talk about this for one quick second. So, I saw AEW, and you want a company to succeed so badly. They got the star power. They got the superstars. They got the wrestlers. They got everything. AEW has the talent. I think they have one of the best rosters right now. When it comes to a woman, they have that. The woman, I think WWE wins in that department. But when it comes to the wrestlers, they got it. The reason that WWE is doing so well than AEW is the fact that they're using characters and using story. Everybody is fitting. You looking at a Raw, Sami Zayn is fitting to this. The conclusion was Drew McIntyre turning heel. And I see that. I'm like, okay, they're incorporating him. Seth Rollins is incorporating CM Punk and the Drew McIntyre story, build upon their match at WrestleMania, and also build upon to the Royal Rumble. Cody's building upon to winning the Royal Rumble again, which he may or may not. Shinsuke's putting his name in the hat like, oh, hold up, now, you ain't going to win the second time. I might win it, And you're seeing things, they're incorporating stuff. But everybody fits. Everybody is fitting to storylines. Some are fitting to main storylines and others fitting to not. When you watch AEW, Collision or Dynamite, there's nothing going on. You have a tournament that is, on paper, is smart. Cool, if they have this annually. But they're winning other titles where they should be winning a main event at Revolution or a main event at Double or Nothing or another main event at All In. Except you're trying to play upon the Royal Rumble type of thing. But they're winning more titles, and that's the problem. New Japan has been having this problem too. The more titles you win, the more titles you have, the more you have to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Instead of them consolidating these titles, making a separate brand, doing what's the right thing to do, building upon the ROH legacy of that title, they're not doing stuff like that. You got Tony Khan trying to book ROH. He got Final Battle, which I heard Final Battle's not selling pretty well. Then you got Tony Khan booking for Wrestle Dream. And then it's like, well, turn Final Battle to AEW's Final Battle. They have these pay-per-views from ROH. Use them. Why are you doing your own, don't get me wrong, like Wrestle Dream, but you have AEW, you have ROH pay-per-views. Convert them to AEW pay-per-views. And it's just, it's a mind blow to me. But I don't want to be talking too much about that. AEW has a lot of problems. So I saw last night's match, the Tony Storm match and Sky Blue match, the gift of God, I call it. Just cakes, and I think they know what they're doing because they had a lot of buzz after the last match. They had, and I actually did a video to that, and I'm doing another video to their match and play upon that. So I hope you guys like that. That should come out before this video. I don't know. But I'll put a link in the description box. This is short. I hope you enjoy it. It just makes the type of memes. It's always fun to do those. Toni Storm, I love Toni Storm. She's a beautiful woman. And, she got it at the right places. Sky Blue's another one, too. Hold it up. But that was a good match. I think they did a good job with that. Toni and her gimmick, Timeless. I don't know why they don't use Timeless Turner Classic. Kind of play upon that. But again, what do I know? It is what it is. But she's done a great job with that, and the match was okay. To me, not the match of the week. I think the Rollins and Jey Uso will have match of the week right now. Getting on to the other one, Edge and Adam. Adam and Christian, whatever. This would have been a good match at Wrestle Dream. This would have been a good match later on. But I understand why they're doing it, because their ratings are low. Ladies and gentlemen, AEW's ratings are bad. They are no longer getting to 9,000 viewers. If you notice, every 3 to 4 months, the ratings are dipping. And now they're dipping even quicker. Since Punk left, those ratings have dropped drastically. AEW's rating was already dropping, but they're dropping rapidly. And by next year, I see them going to 7,000. And then the following year, I think I see them going to 5 or 6. It's not getting good for AEW. There's no growth. At least last year and the year before that, they were steady in the millions to 9,000. But they were always in that bracket. They sometimes reached the 8, but they've never reached lower than that. The 8 was never the highest. The 8 was their lowest. The 9 was just maybe medium, but there was always getting 1 million viewers. And it just got worse after worse. Edge is not a draw. And now you don't even have Edge's name. You have Adam, which has not been a thing he's used for years. And Edge has never been a draw to me. He's still not a draw to me. And this proves that he's not a draw. When he came back, he didn't pop the number. He was in the main event. He still didn't pop the fucking number. Or wasn't, I don't know. He didn't pop the number. He doesn't pop numbers. Edge has always been that guy that works with a guy who is a draw. He's similar to Triple H. But I think he's worse than Triple H because Triple H will pop a number. I don't think Edge pops a number. I think Christian is a better draw than Edge is, in my opinion. Edge is better as a heel anyway. It's always been good with those two as a heel. Christian is good as a heel and he's good as a face, but he's just better as a heel. Edge is definitely better as a heel. Not no Judgment Day bullshit, but the rated R superstar, the ultimate opportunist. He just needs to go back to that ultimate opportunist. As a babyface, it doesn't work for me. He just does not work for me. The match was okay. The ending was just kind of like, the hell with that. We all knew Nick Wayne's mom was going to turn heel, but it would have been good if Nick Wayne was there. But I guess they were trying to sell the concerto, which I understand. But they should have his mom there, and they're in the middle of the ring, and his mom says, don't do it. Don't do it. Then he gives the belt to his mom, and eventually she turns on Edge, and Christian smiles, and they all hug like a family, and then Christian hugs Nick, and then Christian looks at the mom, and they make out. And he's similar to how he did with Trish Stratus at WrestleMania 20. I just booked that on the fly. You probably say to yourself, wow, that's impressive. That's how you book stuff. That's how you book a main event. It's not hard. It's not rocket science. The problem with Tony Khan is he keeps saying he's a fan. How are you a fan? How are you a fan of wrestling when you got Edge and Christian on the same show and you got the Hardy Boys, but they have not yet had interaction? They have history, but you're like, I'm a fan. The fuck? You're a fan, but you're not looking at what made wrestling, look at the time when wrestling was very popular, what brought asses in the seats. And the biggest thing I can tell about Tony Khan, he books for the audience of one what he wants to do. Now, I think Christian and Edge are really working together on this storyline, but he books for an audience of one. And it's showing a lot more. The women, like I said, if the women's don't draw, but somehow like Tony Storm actually had to reinvent a character for her to say, well, this was working. I would have put the moon to it, but he's not doing that. He likes the MJF storyline, which again, that wasn't his booking. That just came on the fly because fans got behind it. They had to get behind something because they had nothing going for it. They don't want to tell stories. They want to have all these great 5-star matches. Say that for the pay-per-view. You're making a television show. Make me captivated television and then have a payoff at the event. Say what you want about Vince Russo. He knew what the fuck he was doing. How you think they won the Monday Night fucking Wars? Why you think WCW got his ass? They had a payoff at the pay-per-views. They have this talented roster, and say what you want. This brand split with CM Punk guys and the Elite guys, not good on paper, but it actually worked. It made people go watch Collision. Collision was the most talked about wrestling show during the summer. Now look at it. It's no different from AEW. It's about to become goddamn Rampage. He needs help. He needs help. He needs to talk to some people. He needs to kind of communicate with somebody. He needs help. The Bryan Danielson thing, too, I want to address that, too. And then I just want to wrap this up because I have other things I need to do. him being on the disciplinary committee, him doing this, him doing that. You know what? I'll save that for another video. And if you guys want me to talk about it, I'll do that in another video. That's a 5-minute video I want to talk about. But AEW is really turning Bryan Danielson into a heel, which, again, he's good as a heel, too. Let him be a heel. Let him be the authority figure. Let him be a heel, bad guy, helping his group out, win titles. That's the storyline. Because right now, you need something to get people talking. You need something to get you working. The backstage stuff is the most interesting thing AEW is doing right now. Use it. Use some of it and turn it into a storyline. If he's a disciplinary committee, make Daniel Bryan the disciplinary. Make him turn him the dragon, the disciplinary dragon, and he just comes out in a suit, cuts his hair again, shaves. Well, keep the beard. Cut the hair down a little bit with the eye patch. Just say, "I run the show. I got CM Punk fired. I'll get you fired." Let him run with that. Have a storyline. It's out there in the world. Let him take ownership of it. He took in ownership of it. Turn him heel. And have Tony Khan in the background. Said Tony comes out and said, "I gave him the power. I trust Daniel Bryan." Eventually, he's abusing that power. But again, you probably say, "Well, you're incorporating what WWE's doing." Here's the thing, though. What happens, they're not looking at what's going on online. They want to brush everything online, all the backstage issues and all that, and leave it alone. No, it's already out there. We already know what happened with Punk. We already know what happened with Elite. Turn it into a storyline. Them not doing FTR, CM Punk, and the Elite FTR and CM Punk versus the Elite was the biggest missed opportunity in wrestling history. And Tony Khan has no one else to blame but himself. It's weird because I was watching and I'm going to wrap this up. Tully Blanchard, he was on, I believe, Dutch Mantel podcast, and also wish well to Dutch Mantel. He's dealing with some stuff, but I hope everything works out for him. And I guess you could say the guy who works with Dutch Mantel did an interview, and he asked Tully Blanchard, "Does anyone come and ask you for advice?" He said no one came and asked him for advice since he was there. He said he don't know. I think he said no one said it for Arn too, but he doesn't know. No one asked him for advice. That is the most disheartening thing I have heard. You have somebody like Tully Blanchard, Arn Anderson, two of the best minds in wrestling history, and you're not going to ask them for advice. That's the elite mentality. That's the stupid elite mentality. And that is why that's why Punk had an issue with a lot of it. He said, "Yo, we are here. We know what we can do. We can help you. We've been to the dance before. No. You don't need to do these flips and dives. Here, wait for the pay-per-view," which are great answers to listen to. But you don't want to do that. Because the elite said, no, every match need to have a 5-star. You're burning the fans out. You can't do that. If you want to have a great tag team match, save it for the pay-per-view. You have a great hardcore match, save it for the pay-per-view. People pay. They need to pay for these pay-per-views. When you give it on free TV, why would I pay? The TV is to build it up. The TV is for storylines. The TV is for giving that urge of, okay, you know what? I want to see this man get his ass whooped. Why you think people pay to see Austin versus McMahon? Because they wanted to see Austin get his hands on McMahon. Once Austin got his hands on McMahon, that was it. That was the done deal. Then eventually they can take the liberty of having Austin do what he wanted to do after he gets his hands on McMahon, stunning his ass a couple times, give him the middle finger a couple times, and then people paid for that. Because we got to see on television, because it was coming. We all knew when it came, that stutter came, that was it. We already knew. Because Austin's like, I ain't taking this shit too much longer. But it worked. You watch AEW, they don't understand it. They're trying to turn MJF to a Rock and Austin, and it's not working. Because he's a great heel. Let him be a heel. Just let him be a heel. But anyway, guys, as always, like, subscribe, peace, have a Johnson day. I'm done talking. I'll see you guys in the next video.